So today we are going to study about JavaScript. Till last session, whatever we discussed, that was all about CSS, cascading style sheet, that is used for formatting a web page to give a web page a better look and feel environment. That was the reason behind working to CSS. Okay, that was all about tags, properties, attributes, values. Only those things are available. Now we have come to a point where we go with programming now. Introduction to JavaScript. Now, as I already said you, scripting is nothing but programming. Scripting is nothing but programming. But the programming will work for whom? Web page. Web page. And scripting will be of two types: client-side scripting, server-side scripting. So now here, coming to these two types of scripting, client-side and server-side. Client-side scripting, who will deal? Browser will deal with it. Client-side scripting. I'm not typing anything, Anand. Client-side scripting will be executed by browser. Server-side scripting will be executed by web server. Two types. Now, browser when executes client-side scripting, that is for what? Basic validation. Basic validation. Like what? Like what? So you are going to create a text field. So in the text field, you want to restrict characters. I demonstrated already to only 10 characters. Only what? 10 characters. I want to restrict text field of only what? 10 characters. And who should validate that? Browser will take care of. Okay. And password was another column. Password. Now password should be of only 14 characters. Second rule, password should be of so and so case sensitive. So such type of basic validations, whatever we have, those things we want browser to validate. Browser. Who should not involve here? Server should not involve. Who will support this coding? Who will support this coding? JavaScript will support this coding. Do you understand? That is what JavaScript is. Now we are going to learn JavaScript, ECMAScript, JScript. Three things we have: JavaScript, ECMAScript, JScript. Three different like client-side scripting languages or client-side scripting software. Okay, what are they? JavaScript, ECMAScript, JScript. Okay, now coming to another thing, JavaScript was actually developed for one browser, specially designed for one browser. That browser was called Netscape Navigator. I don't know whether you remember or not, but I worked on this browser. I have idea on this browser, Netscape Navigator. So that company has a browser by name Netscape. So to run a program on that browser, that company has developed what? JavaScript. And after developing that, they felt that JavaScript can be expanded to a lot with interacting to coding part on browser. Slowly, that development was given to Mozilla company, who gave Netscape company has given to whom? Mozilla. And what Mozilla has done? Mozilla started continuing the development of JavaScript for their browser. What is their browser? Firefox. You understand? And then after you find that another company by name ECMA, another company by name what? ECMA, ECMA, European Computers Manufacturers Association. That company has developed what? ECMAScript, which is extension of JavaScript. ECMAScript. And the first edition of ECMAScript was released in 1997. Okay. So now how many? JavaScript was of Netscape. ECMAScript is extension of JavaScript, which is developed by ECMA International. And JScript is another JavaScript programming part, which is developed by Microsoft, which can be compatible for Internet Explorer. And if you look into the another area of JavaScript, now it is actually an ECMAScript. Official name you can call. ECMAScript is the official name of the language. What is its old name? JavaScript. Who developed it? Who developed? Brendan Eich. Brendan. Brendan Eich. EICH. When? 1995. And when it has become ECMA? 1997. Okay. Now, another important thing about JavaScript is, remember all these points, please. JavaScript is interpreter-based language. C Sharp, ASP, VB, they all are compiler-based languages. But this client-side scripting, which will be done by JavaScript, it is actually what? What it is? It is a interpreter-based language. Hope you know very well what and how it makes a difference of compiler and interpreter. Compiler compiles total program. Interpreter will translate and execute the program line by line. If code is of 10 lines, if there is an error in the fifth line, interpreter stops the execution of the program at fifth line itself. Until and unless error is not detected of that line, it does not continue the program execution. It does not go for what? Program execution. Okay, that makes a difference on working with okay. And second thing is, it is such an interpreter build which can run on all platforms. You understand? It can run on what? On all platforms. And second thing, it is case sensitive. Remember that also. HTML was not case sensitive. CSS is not case sensitive. But JavaScript is case sensitive. And second, the other part is it is case sensitive. And second thing is it is object based language. C# is object oriented language. Object oriented. Because object will not come into picture without class. Without class, object will not be there. Whenever you create an object, for sure it means class will be there. Only with that class the object will be available. Do you understand? Now, exactly same way, when I go to a point related with JavaScript, JavaScript is what I said. It's not object oriented. It is object based. It means JavaScript will have only objects available in your program. Classes all are hidden. You don't see any class available in your program. You don't find any class. It's only objects available. Classes are not given for us directly. And another important thing about JavaScript. JavaScript is loosely typed language. Loosely typed. Why? Because JavaScript doesn't have data types. C# everywhere you talk about data types. Everywhere you talk about data types. And what about JavaScript? JavaScript doesn't have any data type. No int, no char, no double, no void, no short, no long, no float, nothing, no data type. Now, how JavaScript will work? JavaScript language will work along with HTML. HTML is also important. I'm not excluding. I'm not saying that JavaScript alone will work. No, JavaScript will work with a support of HTML, or it takes HTML into consideration, and then makes a web page dynamic, or it makes a web page interactive. And if you want that your browser should not support JavaScript, it's left to you. You can enable or you can disable. That's left to you. If you don't want your JavaScript of any website that it should not work in your system, simply your browser, in whichever browser you're running that website, in whichever browser you're running that web page, disable JavaScript in it, run the program. JavaScript output is never shown for you. It's left to you, I'm saying. Interested, you can make JavaScript available. Not interested, disable JavaScript in your machine. But it is not compulsory to have JavaScript running on your browser. Interested, enable. Not interested, disable. But what we notice today is maximum out of 100, you can rather say 99 websites will have a support of JavaScript, no doubt. Support of what I'm saying? JavaScript. 99, I'm saying 99. Will have support of what? JavaScript. And if you don't want, that is different story. You don't want, that is different story, but it has a support. That is interesting. Every browser provides its own way of, setting. Internet Explorer settings to enable, disable JavaScript will be different. Chrome provides different. Firefox provides different. Edge provides different. Everyone provides different. Now it is always preferred. Where do you write JavaScript code? Let's see. One basic part of it. Go to Solution Explorer. I'll add another example folder here. Right click, add new solution folder. Just write JS example. Right click, add new item. I simply write here HTML page demo.js1.html. Yes. Now point. Now point. Where do you write JavaScript and how does JavaScript start? Remember two things. First thing, you can write JavaScript in head section with a tag called script. Then type text oblique JavaScript language equal to JavaScript. Yes. Within this block, you're going to put within this block now create section. Where is the other way you can write? Same thing you can write even body. Yes. Now you have two ways to write this for JavaScript code. Either in body section or in head section. Interesting thing is, if you are writing in body section, if you are writing in body section, rule is first you complete HTML tag. First you should complete what I'm saying. HTML designing part you complete. Then you write client side coding at the end. Why you're saying that JavaScript should be written after designing? Because page can be loaded faster. Page can be loaded a little faster. If you write JavaScript first, then browser has to execute. Browser has to go through that code as well, JavaScript to code, and then it should come and load the page. That becomes lengthy. So it is better to have first a designing part. So the design part will execute first, and after that coding part will work. So how do you answer? Like, where do you write JavaScript code? Answer: JavaScript code can be a part of body section or can be part of head section. If you're writing in body section, then compulsory see that it is written at the end, that is after designing part. Why is it so that it should be after designing part? Answer is so that web page can be loaded faster. For that reason, prefer to go with end. Okay. So, and this, in this block, code will come. Code of Java, whatever things, what to write and all, I'll show later. Code of Java. Same thing you can mention here as well. Not compulsory to write language attribute. You can skip this part. Language is optional. No, if you write also no problem. Even if you don't write also no problem. Another important thing. Now I'll expand. Listen carefully, please. What are the different ways you can create a JavaScript code? Just now I said two, now. Now I'll change my answer. Listen carefully. Now answer is three ways. What are they? Either in body section, or in head section, or in one separate JS file. Even that way also you can create JavaScript code. You can write in one separate file. As yesterday we created, no? Yesterday we created CSS in separate file. External style sheet. External style sheet. Exactly same. Here we are going to get JavaScript file can be created separately in a separate file. Okay. Now what are the objects that we are going to use for JavaScript? Let's talk on what are the different objects that we are going to use in JavaScript. So here comes first object. You can rather call base object, window, words, focus on words. Class I didn't say, object, window object. In that window object, this is one sub object, document. This is another sub object, history. Another sub object, location. Three. All objects only. Classes? No, classes are not given to us. C sharp, C sharp. Without class, object will not work at all. But JavaScript, there is no class available for us, but still objects are going to work for us. Still, objects are going to work for us, no doubt. Perfectly it will work. So which is base object available now? Window. And another important thing, another important thing, window is always default object. Default object. Default. It means what? Whatever things it provides, they can be accessed directly. Now I don't need to write window.document. I said na document, history, location are sub objects. How do you refer them? How do you refer them? Yeah, both are fine for us. Now I can say window.document valid. Document valid. Your wish. Window.document little lengthy. Document shortcut fine valid. Your wish. Anyways you write it, understand. Three. Acha. In document, in this document object, na, you have methods. What are what methods? One, write, write line. LN you should write. C sharp में write line. L capital line full word here no write LN. We have one more. Get element by ID. Yeah. These are methods provided by document object. Okay, window also has method. Yes, these are window methods, window object methods. What are they? Alert, prompt, parse, float, close, parse int, confirm. Yes. What are all these? These are all methods provided by window object. I'll write here so that you can have a reference. All of them you write, whichever are supported or whichever we are going to cover in our course content. Alert, confirm, prompt, close, parse int, parse float. Yes, these are window methods. Window method. Many are there, I said. No? Many. I just have covered only few things of it. Very few things. Document has write ln, get element by ID. So whatever the things that I listed now, these are the things that I'm going to cover with various examples for our content. Okay. Now, how do you write these methods now? How do you write these methods? Fine. As you can say, as just now I said, window.document. Same way I can write window.alert, valid. Only alert, also valid. Because window is default object. Only I'm talking about window. Acha. What about this? Then can you write like this? Document dot write makes sense. Yes, this is valid. Only write. No, no, no. You can't write. This is invalid. You can't represent in this. Confirm this will be invalid state. You can't write. Because write is not part of window. Write is not part of window. If it would have been a part of window, then it would have been valid. But write is part of document. Document is not default object. So hence write has to be accessed only with document. Do you understand? The way things will work for your what do you call window objects. Completely different story you have. Completely different approach, execution, all differ. All will differ. The way you get on with execution completely goes with different. But very much needed in different topics of ASP document. So you can't take it for granted. Okay, and some more methods are there which I haven't listed at this. I mean now, probably coming classes may I'll definitely highlight them, no doubt. Who will communicate with the screen? I mean to say browser. Document will communicate. Window, what it will do? Window alert, window confirm, window prompt. They all will create sub windows. On browser you will get one window. In that window output is generated. That makes another difference. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay. Now, uh, coming to another scenario that you find, history is also one sub-object. I said na. So how do you use? You wish. You can say history direct will work. Window dot history will also work. What will be there in history? Usually these are the things that are highlighted. Some functions I'll write backward option we have, go option we have, and something we have some more methods also. Back, go. These are history related methods. History object you can say. History related object. Okay. And what more? Location is also one object we have. In this location objects, some methods I write. A reload will be there in it, and uh, what more we have? Assigning will be there. That will open a new document. Some methods are there, and these are location. What do you call? Object methods. Yes. So location dot reload, location dot assign, different objects, different methods. Okay, clear everything? Now, another important thing before we enter into programming is, since it is coding part, obviously you require variable in Java. What is that we have? Rule. Variable declaration in JavaScript can be with and without var keyword. Yes, one rule. One rule it is. With also you can, with var keyword we can write, without var keyword also we can write. But initially you don't see any difference. You find both of them like same. You don't see any difference. But it makes it, even you can find a difference when we start a topic called functions in JavaScript. Functions topic is there. When we start the topic, then you will get to know important how it makes a difference of creating a variable with and without var keyword. So another rule you can say, JavaScript does not have specific data type. So is the reason it is called loosely typed language. Reason why. I don't know whether you remember or not. C sharp, we covered this. C sharp. Features of C sharp. Here I'm saying loosely typed language. There I said Java, C sharp I said. C sharp is strictly typed language. Strictly typed. This is loosely typed. Here, depending on the value, automatic data type is set. The JavaScript. Depending on value, it makes variable to work for that data type. What do you call? What do you call? And it is called JSON data. You call it because we don't have data type. Depending on value, it will make variable to work for the data type. There is a reason. What do you call that? JSON data. What is JSON data? JavaScript object notation. That is what JSON data is. JavaScript object notation. Well, these are basics connecting with the JavaScript. That's it. I'll just stop my session here. Tomorrow's class.